Hi everyone, this is Dina. Welcome back to my channel about cross stitch. I have an update for you today. I have a surprise. Maybe not too much of a surprise. After my April 1st start yesterday on Hattie Hedgehog and my finish of her, which I showed on my last video, I decided that I had waited long enough to start my piece I've been wanting to start, Seeking Refuge. I just love this piece. I love what it says, and I think it is so appropriate for the times that we're in. This is by the Scarlet House. It was released at Market. It was one of the things I wanted from Market and was able to get. And I have all the threads for it, but two. I'm still on back order for two of them. But I got it started. Now, I don't think you can see in this picture, I don't think you can see it, but there is a little border at the top that's white. It's called whitewash. It's a Weeks Dye Works color. And because it had that little border at the top, I was able to start my piece, you know, down 3 over 3, just like you would anything else. And that was just really exciting to me to be able to do that on this sampler and not have to start right in the middle in that big house. Because, you know, I just finished a piece that had 4 houses in it, and I said those aren't my favorite things. But this one's got a huge brick house. But I can't wait. I think it's going to be gorgeous. So today I wanted to start this as my piece to remember this time that we are living in. And I want to embody what this piece says. When the world seems to be out of control, I find a way to nurture my soul, seeking refuge with needle and thread. The angst and anxiety no longer I dread. I just love that. I love the sentiment, and I really want this piece stitching on it to help me do that. So I started it last night, pretty late in the evening for a new start, but I got it out thinking I was getting it ready for today. And I measured the fabric again, made sure I had enough room, put it on the roller frame, got everything ready, made my working copy of the pattern, sat down with my threads, and the next thing you know, I'm thinking, oh, I've got to start this border, and it's going to be just easy stitching for this late at night. So I did, started the border. I did about 30 stitches or so, went to bed. Got up this morning and was looking at it, and I thought, these stitches don't look very nice. Maybe I was just tired. So I stitched a few. They didn't look good. This is 32 count. It's Picture This Plus fabric in sand is the color. And it was one of my Picture This Plus fabric of the month. And I was thrilled with it when I saw it and found this pattern and thought, it's a perfect match. So, on 32 count, I don't know about you, but I usually do 2 over 2 on 32 count. And that's what I was doing. And I read the pattern. It calls for 1 over 2 on 40 count, but as y'all know, I haven't tried 40 count, and I don't have any. So I was gonna do 32. Yes, it'll be a little bit bigger, but you know, hey, just gonna go with it. Well, I guess this fabric really shrunk in the dyeing process. I haven't counted it. I have to do that. I'll have to report back on that to you. But the 2 over 2 were very crowded. They wouldn't lay straight. They wouldn't lay nicely. They were all crumpled up on each other for whatever reason. They looked crowded. So I'm thinking this fabric has really shrunk. It might be more like a 36. I don't know, but anyway, I'll find out. So just on a whim this morning, I said, well, let me just take 1 strand and see what it looks like. The coverage would probably be terrible. Looked really nice. The coverage may not be as good as some of you like. I'm not one of those that minds seeing a little bit of fabric through. I don't mind it looking like cross stitch. which is a good thing because I think that's what I'm going to get. But I couldn't stand how crowded it looked with the two strands, so I've got to go with one anyway. So I frogged out my start, and I went back and replaced it with 1/2. And then I got through the border at the top. And the next color to use was 310, and I said, this will be a good test. Because you do your initials right at the top in the corner in 310. So here's what I got done. Now I'll pull this close to you so you can see that white border, that whitewash up there. I think it looks pretty. And yes, it's delicate, but I think the coverage is okay. Look at the black. It's looking okay to me. And you know what else? It may look a little restrained. It may not be as dark and vibrant as it would if I could use 2 strands. But right now we are a bit constrained, and I think that might kind of make the piece even more meaningful to me. So I'm stitching it 1/2, which is a unique combination on 32 count. Who would have guessed? But that's where I'm at. Now I'm going to move this light. Ooh. So you can see that. That is all the way across. I've completed the border all the way across. So it ends right in here. I've got a little bit of extra, give myself 3 inches for framing. And then I've got this, only this much wasted. So that, I'll cut that off and use it. That's a small bell pull or, something. Anyway, I think this is beautiful fabric. I think it's going to look gorgeous. My color palette, it's back here. Pardon the close-up. This is the color palette. Earthy tones, 1 red, but there you go. Very earthy. Very few colors. Now I am missing 2 colors. They're on back order, as I said, but I think these are gonna be really pretty. So looking forward to doing more on this piece, and I just wanted to share my start, my second April 1st start with you that I had to restart already today. Well, I hope your day's been going well. I've had a pretty good day of stitching to get this to this point. Anyway, I hope that you have got a great start to your month of April. I've been making some plans. I haven't finalized them. It's interesting. I've gotten like 1 week planned, and then I'm kind of waiting to see what the next group of prompts might be, I guess, in one of my groups before I finish out another week or 2 of planning. But I hope you are getting a lot of stitching done, and I'm hoping to do some stash diving tomorrow. I want to go back through my Mania plans and look at what I can change now that I've had some finishes and I get to do some more new starts. And so if I get to do that tomorrow, I'll try to share it with you. In the meantime, happy stitching, everyone, and stay safe. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Dina, and today is the 3rd day of April. And as I sort of hinted at, I have pulled all of my stash out except magazines and books. They're too numerous and too lengthy to go through and share. What I may do down the road, I may go through and highlight a few pieces or patterns, from those that I plan on doing in the future, provided I live to be 250, because I have way too much. I'm into sable a long time ago, I'm sure. What I thought I would do today is to film for you in segments, a bit of a stash dive, starting with my Mania starts, and then take a break and film some other pieces about my stash dive, and I will put them up on either different videos, or I'll put them up in sections like I normally do, where you could watch one and then go away and do something else, because I don't want to bore you. But I love looking at people's patterns and their ideas and hearing them talk about what they want to do. So I'm hoping that some of you would enjoy this as well. I'm in my dining room because I needed the table for all my stuff. Anyway, and the floor and the baskets and whatnot. So one thing this has done for me is it's helped me to go back through everything and identify some things that my tastes have changed on. And I very well may be passing some stash along during these videos. So if nothing else, stay tuned to see if there's something you might want to put your name in for, and we'll get started and take a little gander. The first thing I'd like to do is show you what I have planned as of today to do for Mania. Now, I'm expecting an order from Julie McConnell. She just called me and told me all my stuff had come in, and it's, of course, things from Market. So I reserve the right to change and insert whatever I'm getting from her, just, in case. But this is what I've planned so far today. The first start for Mania, and my idea for Mania was to stitch on each of my whips at least one day and do new starts for every day of the month up to 20 for 2020. And as Julie and I were talking this morning, I think this stay-at-home thing has really affected me, because today I sat down and added 10 new starts so that I'd have 31 days in May. 21 new starts for me in May. Who is this woman? I don't even know myself anymore. Pardon the zipping. I'm going to have to unzip and zip as I go, because it's already a disaster. And if I don't keep them sealed, it'll be even worse. But my very first start slated for Mania is called Lovebirds. You guys voted on this one. And so I just got in the threads I ordered just a day or two ago for this. And so I'm so glad that they came in, and now I can get started on it. And I am planning on, I've got to recheck the fabric to make sure I've got enough room. But what I'm planning for is a 32 count linen in what is called Apple Blossom. It's a light, there you go, kind of a brownish pink. And I've put these threads with them, and I've got one here with me. I'll show you what I mean. I think they're going to be absolutely beautiful on this fabric. Don't you think? Anyway, this was in my stash. I've had it, I can't even tell you. Probably bought it the first time I ever went to Dixie Darling years ago. And I'm finally going to get to use it, so I'm real happy about that. So my first Mania start is going to be Lovebirds by the Drawn Thread. And I'm surprised, but I think I have a couple, if not 3, new starts from the Drawn Thread in here. I guess I've fallen in love with them this year. I don't know. But anyway, this is a beautiful project bag that I got from Cheryl McKinney when she was making them and selling them on her floss tube. My second start is called Soul Sisters, and it is by Plum Street Sampler, and I think you can see that in here just fine. But I think some of you may recognize that, and I'm just doing that on a very neutral fabric. I'm not even sure the name of it is on here. Oh, it is, thank goodness. Okay. This is Autumn Fields, 32 count linen. This is a remnant of what I used when I stitched several of the Dachshund patterns for my sister Stephanie. And this just was the nice shape and size to fit this piece perfectly. So I have not put the threads in there, but I'm just going to be using DMC. So that'll work out just fine. Let me see how to turn that for you. So Soul Sisters is the second one I intend to start for Mania. This is another one that you guys voted on, and I can't wait to start it. I've been wanting to start this one for a few years now, and other things have just gotten in the way. But this is called Gathering Eggs. It's a Mirabila. And it's on a fairly dark green there, but I'm doing mine on Highland Lugana from Picture This Plus. And I think that's gonna look gorgeous on there. I think it looks a little more springy on this lighter fabric. So I'm looking forward to that. And of course, this is DMC. I do need to check out the beads. I'll make a note on that one. I do have my pen and paper here just in case I come up with stuff like this, so I can make sure I have everything I need. But this is start number 3. I haven't decided how I'm going to do it, whether I'm going to do a start and a whip and a start and a whip. I think I may do that to give myself a break from doing a start every day, because you do have to calculate and count and do so much of that. You know, as you go. And pardon me for bending over, but everything's in a basket in order, and I don't want to lose that. The next one you guys voted on as well, and this is for my stitching room, and it's called A Stitch in Time. It's a Button and Beads by Mill Hill, and there's one individual I know that wants to start theirs with me. So I'm planning on starting mine on the 4th of May if you want to join me, and you have this in your stash. It's a full kit. So it has everything you need. It comes with perforated paper, and I don't know yet whether I'm going to do perforated paper or whether I'm going to do fabric, but I'll make that decision before then. A Stitch in Time, number 4. Okay, this is another piece you guys voted on. I'm stitching for you this year. It's called, it's a Little House Needleworks, and it's Early Americans #1, Betsy Ross. So I know most of y'all have seen that one, and I just thought that would make a great addition to my 4th of July collection of things that I've been stitching. And I chose a different color to do this one on. I'm actually gonna do it on a beautiful blue. It's a Summer Sky is the name of it. And I don't know if you can see the modeling in it, but I hope you can. It looks like clouds. So I'm looking forward to that. It is a 32 count Jobelin. I don't have much Jobelin in my stash, but that was a piece of it. So that is what I'm gonna start as my 5th new start. My 6th new start is one I've been anticipating with both excitement and dread. Dread because I don't like stitching something twice, and this will be the 2nd time I've stitched most of this pattern. I'm going to be doing it on a light taupe. Thank you, Julie McConnell, for helping me figure that out, and I got this fabric from her for my Sheep Virtues. But it's a nice, solid, beautiful light taupe, and it'll be big enough for this piece. And what I'll be doing is what you've seen on the other people's channels, where they've taken this piece from Country Cottage Needleworks. The name of it is Sheep in the Meadow. And the words say, sheep in the meadow singing their song softly and sweetly all the day long. And I have notes from Julie, because she's done this one, on what she took out to make it fit. So I have those in here. And then, as you know, the little Sheep Virtues fit around it. And there are 12 of those. And I still have them with all the buttons, because I didn't put the buttons on my Afghan, but I stitched these on an Afghan, if you'll recall. So now I'm going to stitch them as a piece to be framed. And they have all the buttons still with them, and I will put them on the piece this time. So that will be a huge undertaking. But I thought Mania was a good time just to get it started. Not gonna put myself under any pressure as to when I want it finished. I'm not gonna stitch it on a deadline because I think that would pressure me a bit. And there's gonna have to be a lot of adjusting and calculating in this one. The next one's just fun. It's sort of a nod to what's coming up in July when I do Christmas in July. Yeah, I'm gonna start a bunch in July too. Yeah, I'm crazy, I've lost my mind. Anyway, this is a little snapshot. It's called Holy Night. It's printed by Pine Mountain Designs. And it's just a really small 6x4 inch piece. And I'm going to do it on lamb's wool. And this is the little piece there. And I think that's precious. And I'm just gonna do it on this little neutral, natural looking lamb's wool. I think that's pretty close to what they recommended. In fact, they recommended 32 count lamb's wool Lugana. And that's what this is. So I actually had what they recommended and put it together. And I'm just using the DMC floss. I'm not gonna use the Gentle Arts or the Weeks Dye Works for this one. I'm just gonna do DMC on it. I'm thinking this might become a Christmas card, not sure. My next new start is one that I was supposed to start last year when I was starting something every month. This was supposed to be my September start last year, and for a sale actually, and I didn't start it. I got behind trying to do something else, and this one was one of the two that I didn't start. So this is the Autumn Arbor by the Drawn Thread. And isn't that beautiful? Those colors are just absolutely fabulous. And I'm doing mine on a hand-dyed Lugana called White Tea from Color and Cotton. Oh, you can't see that very well, can you? That's better. It has a tannish look. You're seeing a more brown, but this has a little more of a green tint to it. And I think it'll look perfect with all these orange and green colors and whatnot. But this one is fully kitted with beads and everything, so it's ready to go. Okay, get that back in there. All right, now my 9th new start for Mania is Thankful Owl. This was a sweet, sweet gift that I won from Natasha, and she sent me the greatest kit. It has the sparkly blue fabric. It has some Dames of the Needle pom-pom. There's pom-pom, sorry. And Potter's Clay thread that I can use in this piece. And in addition to that, she sent me finishing fabric, and I want you to see this finishing fabric. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? So this will definitely become a pillow because I think all of this deserves to go together. And this is the little Thankful Owl. And I actually put this in my Stitch 10 in 20 because I thought it was so cute, and I wanted to make sure that I was motivated to start it and to not put it off for any reason. And because it's so cute, I really want to finish it. So that's that is one of these Mania, the first one of these Mania new starts that I really want to finish. I'm going to push it to a finish this year for sure. Okay, number 10 is new. I just added this recently. You'll recognize it. But in honor of our beloved friend that we've lost this year, I wanted to stitch Wintertime. And I have it kitted with beautiful fabric, Sandcastle Jobelin. And I think it'll look really, really good on that. If you've seen Sandcastle before, you know it's got a little tiny bit of red tint in it, and it's mottled slightly. I think you can see it there pretty well. So now I just need to go ahead and order threads. I need to write that down so I get that in time. I have some of them already that I had in my stash, but I need to make sure that I have them all. And I want to get that started. Okay, so now the next group of new starts, I just added this morning as I was going through all of this stuff and decided I've got way more of this I want to stitch on than I am going to get to stitch on if I only do 10 new starts in May. So, number 11. This is Scissors and Threads. I have another one of these patterns. I don't have it in my Mania starts, but I am going to start this one for my sewing room. And if you will recall, when I bought that, I bought all the sulky to go with it. It didn't call for sulky. It called for Gentle Arts and Classic Colorworks and DMC. And what I did is I just took the pattern. I looked at the colors on the pattern. I looked at the sulky over at the cross-stitch store in Is it Waynesboro? It's over in South Carolina. Sassy Jacks. Y'all know Sassy Jacks, right? And she has a beautiful collection of sulky, individual spools. And so I was able to put my own pack together, and very excited about it. So this will be my first start where I'm using sulky threads. Looking forward to that. And the next one is just a small that I want to stitch up. It's called Fleur de Lis for Thee. And here's the big picture, but here are the smaller two. And my thought was that I might do one of these for a pin cushion or scissor fob, depending on what size fabric I pick with it. I just got in the threads this past week, and so I'm ready to go with this. I will pull fabric today. And make sure I have all the threads. Be ready to go. Now this one is for me. This is just for fun. This is sort of my sense of humor. I want to make sure this fabric fits. I think it does. I measured it once, but you know, I'm going to measure it again. But I think this is too precious, and I hope you like it. But I got this after we got Coco. Let's bark. Isn't that precious? And that reminds me of her. And here is what I'm going to do it on. She's not a Dalmatian, but isn't that precious? I just love it. And so this is what they call light basalt, or basalt, I think, splash Lugana. Got it from Picture This Plus. So it does look like a dog has either shaken and gotten all the dirt all over it, or it looks like a little, you know, Dalmatian, but it speaks dog to me. And that's what I'm going to put this on. I think that will be fun. It's a 32 count, so it hopefully won't be too terribly big. And I can put that in our house somewhere for Coco. All right, let's see, what number are we on now? This is my 14th new start. And it's one I just recently received as a gift. Sew Sisters, and I showed it to you. And I have it all kitted up with the proper threads because I purchased what I didn't have in my stash, and they came in this past week. And yes, I have been taking that off my Stitch from Stash budget. Oh, glad I had 2 big finishes last month. But this is my thought on this one. I have this remnant of linen. This is the linen that I had started my nativity on that looked so terrible. Couldn't stand it because it was too small, 32 count. But this one's a bigger picture, and I think that these Sew Sisters would look beautiful on that light green. I think that's gonna look so pretty with those orangey and dark brown colors. And all I have to do is check whatever green I'm gonna use and make sure that it'll show up, and if not, substitute it. But that's gonna be the next Mania start. My next start is a nod to patriotic. In case you haven't noticed, I forgot to mention it to you. I started out with Mania being seasonal and our category matching, where I had split all of my whips into categories so that I could be stitching one in each category, and had decided that for this year of Stitch All the Things, which I'm certainly making come true with Mania, aren't I? That I wanted to have something going in each category, and then when I finished something in that category, I could start the next thing I wanted to do in that category. And that's how I was going to work it this year. So Mania, I started out doing something in each category. So I had Lovebirds for Valentine's, I had Gathering Eggs for Easter, a Stitching Time for my sewing room, Betsy Ross was patriotic, Little Sheep Virtues was home decor, Holy Night Snapshot was Christmas, the Autumn Harbor was seasonal, Thankful Owl was Thanksgiving, and then Wintertime I threw in at the end, and that's also seasonal. But then when I've added these last ones, I took the liberty of just doing ones I wanted to do. I didn't worry about whether it was creating 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever in each category. It's just ones I want to do, and so that's okay too. But this one was originally something I wanted to start this year to help give me something patriotic to stitch, and it's called Brave Flags. I think it's great, and I've got all the buttons. I've already ordered the buttons, and they're here, so I'm ready to go with those. And I'm actually doing this on Ada. I think it's my only piece I'm doing on Ada, but I'm doing this on a piece of natural Ada. Isn't that beautiful? It's not the, there's an older one that we used to do a lot. I can't think of the name of it right now, the color of it, but if you stitch for very long, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's not that color, it's actually more of a solid color. And I don't have the, hold on, I do have it. Yay, okay. It's Sand Sable Arena is the color. Sand Sable Arena. It's 14 count Ada. It's a Charles Craft from DMC, in case you're wondering. But I thought that was pretty Ada. I had never seen it before, and I liked it a lot. So I got it for this piece. So there's my patriotic, second patriotic start. Betsy Ross was the first one. Okay. The next one I have is a gift. And so Stephanie, Mom's the word. This is for Mom's Christmas next year. But I'm stitching her a piece that I'm going to finish on a sled. You know, those little sleds that you can sit around. And so this is called Freezing Season. Mom collects snowmen. And that is a precious little snowman. And he's got 2 little penguins, and those little black and white things right there. He's got 2 little penguins, one on each side that he's hugging, kind of trying to keep warm. And there it is finished on a sled, and that's how I'm going to finish it, on the sled. So, want to get started on that. The next one's just another one fun for me, and it's a kit that was gifted to me by a viewer. They just sent it in the mail and said it just reminded them of Coco. And what's funny is she does beg. She begs at the table every night, and we have been trying to teach her to go somewhere else and sit and be quiet while we eat, and she just hasn't got it yet. She wants to be with us wherever we are, doing whatever we're doing, and even though we put her food right next to us, you know, in the kitchen, so that she can eat her dinner with us, that's not quite good enough. It takes several times of telling her to get off and to go sit before she will give up and finally go and eat her food. It's a ritual, a nightly ritual. We're hoping it'll get better. I'm sure it will. I keep having to remind myself she's only 7 months old. But this looks like her, except with her, she is tall enough, she puts her hands right on my arm and leans right into my face and kisses me, wanting my food. Or she'll put her paws on the table and try to get your food. She'll get right up on the table and lick your plate if you're not careful. She did that to my husband recently. Licked his coleslaw or something. Anyway, he threw the whole thing away. It just tickled me to death. Because he got up, I've told him several times, you know, always push your chair back under the table so she can't get to your plate. And he just forgot, and she got to it before we could stop her. It was funny. Anyway, so this has definitely got to be stitched for Coco. And I thank you again for this gift. It was precious, and it does look like her. Okay, so I'm also planning in Mania to at least start one Advent animal so that I can keep going with the series. So that is the next new start, and I didn't even put the name in there because I don't know where I'll be then, on which one. And then this one is one that my friend Donna gave me. She stitched it. I commented on it, and she said, "Do you want to stitch it?" And I said, "Yes." So she brought it to one of our stitching meetups. And so this is Scissors and Bobbins. And I don't speak French, so I can't say it in French for you, but that's what this is. And I haven't even kitted it up yet, so I've got to work on that today. And but this I plan to start in Mania as well for my sewing room. And now this one is for my sister Stephanie. So Stephanie, you have to look away. I'll tell you when you can look back. This is a gift I would like to stitch for my sister. There's Erica Michaels is the designer. And I can't read it out loud because Stephanie would hear it, but I want you to see it. I think it's beautiful. And my thought is to stitch it on this beautiful fabric that I got from Picture This Plus. The name of it is Mountain Mist. And these will be the silks that I use to go with it. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to get that started, so I put it in my Mania, so I'd be sure and get that started fairly soon. And I have a contrasting color. You're supposed to have one that's sort of a neutral, so there's my neutral color to do a couple of little accents on there. But I got that ready to go, and it's fully kitted. That's all 21. Ooh, I've lost my mind, I can tell. I will put it to you this way. I will start them all in Mania. They will not all go in my rotation. They will be started, and they'll be waiting, for me then. And Stephanie, I'm through showing what I'm going to make for you so you can look back. But my thoughts are that that's Mania, and I'll get it started, and I'll fold a few into my rotation that I need the next, whenever they're to be finished by. And then as I finish things in my rotation, I'll just grab one of those that's already started and add it to my rotation for the rest of the year. And hopefully that will give me plenty to stitch on. And then if I get tired of stitching on things in my rotation, I reserve the right to swap them out and put one sort of inactive for a little while and pull something else forward. I know some of you have done that before, and I haven't, except for once or twice I've put something inactive, but it wasn't so I could do something else. It was just because I didn't want to deal with it right then. So there you have it. There's Mania. I thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll go ahead and put this one up because it's 30 minutes already. And that'll be a video all of its own. And then I will take a break and I will film more of a stash dive after that. Thanks for being with me today. I hope you saw something that you are looking forward to seeing me stitch. And if you have it and you want to stitch it with me, I hope that you'll let me know, and I hope that you'll join in with me stitching that in Mania. Talk to you soon. Happy stitching, everyone. Bye-bye.